What if I told you that the man who made millions laugh around the world spent much of his childhood fighting hunger, poverty, and loneliness? Behind the iconic mustache, oversized shoes, and funny walk was a story filled with heartbreak, determination, controversy, and extraordinary success. Charlie Chaplin wasn't just a comedian. He was one of the most influential filmmakers in history, a global superstar before the age of television, and a man who turned his pain into timeless art. Today, we're uncovering the incredible story of Charlie Chaplin, the boy who rose from the slums of London to become the king of silent cinema. This is the untold story of Charlie Chaplin. Charlie Chaplin was born on April 16, 1889, in London. His parents were both entertainers in music halls, but their careers were unstable. His father struggled with alcoholism and eventually abandoned the family. His mother, Hannah Chaplin, tried desperately to support Charlie and his older half-brother Sidney. But life soon became incredibly difficult. Money was scarce, food was scarce, hope was scarce. There were days when the family didn't know where their next meal would come from. At one point, Charlie and Sidney were sent to a workhouse, a place where poor people lived and worked under harsh conditions. Imagine being a child and being separated from your family simply because they couldn't afford to care for you. Things became even worse when Charlie's mother developed severe mental health problems. She was eventually institutionalized. Young Charlie was left virtually alone. Yet somehow, amid all this suffering, he found something that would change his life forever. The stage. Legend has it that Charlie's first performance happened when he was only 5 years old. His mother was performing on stage when her voice suddenly failed. The audience began to boo. To save the show, little Charlie stepped onto the stage. He sang, he danced, and the audience loved him. That moment sparked a dream. As a teenager, Charlie joined traveling theater groups. He spent years perfecting his craft. He learned timing, he learned expression, and most importantly, he learned how to make people laugh. Eventually, he joined the famous comedy troupe led by Fred Karno. This opportunity would change everything. In 1910, the troupe traveled to the United States. America was fascinated by this talented young comedian. Hollywood soon came calling. In 1914, Charlie Chaplin appeared in his first motion picture. Nobody could have predicted what happened next. While experimenting with costumes one day, Chaplin assembled a strange outfit. Baggy pants, a tight coat, a tiny mustache, a bowler hat, a bamboo cane, and oversized shoes. The character became known as the Tramp. The Tramp was poor but dignified, clumsy but clever, lonely but hopeful. Audiences instantly fell in love. The character reflected Charlie's own childhood struggles. People saw themselves in him. Within a few years, Chaplin became the biggest movie star on Earth. His fame was unlike anything the world had ever seen. People lined up for hours to watch his films. His face became recognizable across continents. He wasn't just an actor. He was becoming a cultural phenomenon. Unlike many actors of his era, Charlie wanted creative control. He didn't want studios telling him what to do. So he began directing his own films, then producing them, then writing them, then composing music for them. In 1919, Chaplin joined forces with other Hollywood legends to create United Artists. The company allowed filmmakers to control their own work. It was a revolutionary idea. Chaplin became one of the highest-paid entertainers in the world. Yet despite his wealth, he never forgot his roots. Many of his films focused on poverty, inequality, and human struggle. Movies like The Kid, City Lights, Modern Times were not just comedies. They were powerful stories about ordinary people trying to survive in a difficult world. In 1940, the world was on the brink of chaos. A dictator named Adolf Hitler was expanding his power across Europe. Many people were afraid to criticize him publicly. But Charlie Chaplin wasn't. He created a daring film called The Great Dictator. In the movie, Chaplin mocked Hitler and exposed the dangers of fascism. It was a bold move. Remember, this was before the full horrors of World War II became widely known. The film ended with one of the most famous speeches in cinema history. Instead of comedy, Chaplin delivered a passionate message about freedom, kindness, and humanity. The speech remains powerful even today. For many people, it proved that entertainment could also challenge injustice. Despite his success, Chaplin's later years in America became increasingly difficult. He was often criticized for his political views. Rumors and scandals surrounded his personal life. During the Cold War era, some people accused him of having communist sympathies. Although he was never proven to be a communist, the controversy damaged his reputation. In 1952, while traveling overseas, Chaplin learned that his re-entry permit to the United States had been revoked. Feeling betrayed, he chose not to return. Instead, he settled in Switzerland with his family. For one of America's greatest stars, it was a heartbreaking chapter. Years later, attitudes began to change. People realized the enormous impact Chaplin had made on cinema. In 1972, after 2 decades away, he returned to the United States to receive an honorary Academy Award. The audience rose to its feet. They applauded, and applauded, and applauded. The standing ovation lasted more than 10 minutes, one of the longest in Oscar history. It was a moment of redemption. The world was finally recognizing the genius of Charlie Chaplin once again. Charlie Chaplin died on Christmas Day in 1977 at the age of 88. But his legacy never faded. He transformed cinema, he inspired generations of filmmakers, and he proved that laughter could be one of the most powerful forces in the world. From a hungry child in London's streets to the most famous entertainer on earth, Charlie Chaplin's story reminds us that greatness can emerge from even the darkest beginnings. And perhaps that's why, more than a century later, The Little Tramp still makes us smile. If you enjoyed this untold story, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share. And let us know in the comments, which historical figure should we uncover next? Thanks for watching.